In China, there has always been a famous saying, 民以食为天, means that food is paramount to the people. Food security is not only the key to eliminating hunger and malnutrition, but also the foundation for promoting global health, economic development, social stability, and sustainable environmental development. Below, I will show interviews with our group members on the importance of food safety and security.
Hello, excuse me. Can I ask you some question?
Okay.
What aspect do you think food safety can be reflected in?
I think ensuring food safety promotes sustainable practices in origin culture and food production. By educating the public about food safety knowledge and practices, food safety risks in families and communities can be reduced, and the health of society as a whole can be improved.
So how about you?
As for me, food safety is closely related to food quality and nutrition. Safe food often leads to deterioration of food quality and loss of nutrition.
Consumer choose the safety of the food and will be more willing to buy and consumer choose promoted more group.
Okay, thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Hello.
Hello.
Can I ask you a question?
Okay.
What aspect do you think food safety is reflecting?
Okay. Food safety can catches huge economic worries sector. In addition, food safety problem may seriously affect national trade and exports. Therefore, maintaining strict food safety standards is national for economic stability and growth.
Okay, thank you very much. So what about you?
Government often set strict food safety rules and standards can protect consumers, making sure food is safety. Help follow these rules and avoid legal problem and penalties.
Okay, thank you very much. So hello. Do you have some idea?
In my opinion, I think the progress of food safety and new technology in the scientific field can promote the development of related industry.
Okay, thank you. Hello, what do you think about food safety?
I think the performance of the government and the related agency in food safety supervision is great significant to maintaining public trust. Supervision not only protects the public health, but also increases the reliability and the credibility of governmental agency.
Okay, thank you. So I believe we have some new understanding of food safety. So please continue to watch the video.
In China, food security has been a stated policy priority for years. But the trade war with the US, COVID-19 pandemic, and Russia's invasion of Ukraine mean Beijing's preoccupation with self-sufficiency has only grown since 2020. In 2022, President Xi Jinping stated, "We will fall under others' control if we do not hold our rice bowl steady." As the Chinese economy has grown to become the world's second largest, rapid urbanization has put an increasing pressure on farmland. At the same time, the average Chinese diet has changed to include more meat, dairy, and processed foods. But less than 12% of China's land is classed as arable by the World Bank. That compares with 17% in the US, a country of roughly the same area but with less than a quarter of the population. China has also yet to adopt genetically modified crop varieties at scale because of consumer resistance to the idea and a fear of relying on imported GM seeds. Inefficiency is another key concern. For example, corn output per hectare in China is 40% lower than in the US. China has been a net importer of agricultural products since 2004. It is now the leading purchaser of products including soybeans, corn, and rice. Beijing is relying on a raft of strategies to enhance its food security, including forging closer agricultural ties with allies such as Brazil. Brazil is now China's largest agricultural supplier by value, providing around 20% of China's agricultural imports. Beijing is also diversifying its import sources and has signed more than 100 agricultural cooperation agreements with countries involved in the Belt and Road Initiative, its global infrastructure scheme. Domestically, authorities have reclaimed more than 170,000 hectares of farmland since 2021. In October last year, the government preliminary greenlit 37 genetically modified corn varieties and 14 soybean varieties for planting, after years of public controversy over the technology's safety. Despite measures like this, however, experts say that Beijing has limited capacity to force farmers to align their cropping plans with its self-sufficiency targets. The average farm size in China is less than 1 hectare, meaning top-level directives such as adopting high-tech farming practices can be difficult to implement. But with China's farm production being hindered by increasingly severe floods and drought, driven, scientists say, by global warming, its focus on food security is only set to intensify.
For the first time since the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic, rising world hunger figures appear to have plateaued in 2022. According to new State of Food Security and Nutrition in the World figures, global hunger remained relatively unchanged from 2021 to 2022. But this is still far above pre-COVID-19 pandemic levels, affecting around 9.2% of the world population in 2022. Compared with 7.9% in 2019. New figures estimate that between 691 and 783 million people in the world faced hunger in 2022. This reflects an additional 122 million people who have fallen into hunger since 2019, and projections suggest around 600 million people will be chronically undernourished in 2030. Despite ambitious targets set forth in the SDG 2030 agenda. This is about 119 million more than in a scenario in which neither the pandemic nor the war in Ukraine had occurred, and around 23 million more than if 2022 events had not happened. Nevertheless, the report shows that the trends in hunger vary greatly by region. From 2021 to 2022, progress was made towards reducing hunger in Asia and Latin America. But there are many places in the world facing serious food security crises. Hunger was on the rise in Western Asia, the Caribbean, and all regions of Africa. Those disparities are also visible across demographics. Worldwide, food insecurity disproportionately affects women and people living in rural areas. Globally, more than 3.1 billion people are unable to afford a healthy diet. 148 million children under age 5, or 22.3%, were affected by stunting, and 6.8% suffered from wasting. At the same time, 37 million children under 5, or 5.6%, are overweight. Steady progress has been made on increasing exclusive breastfeeding for the first 6 months of life, and on reducing stunting among children under 5 years of age, but not overweight, wasting, and low birth weight. In this challenging environment, urbanization is a megatrend that must be factored into our efforts to end hunger, food insecurity, and malnutrition in all its forms. Urbanization is driving changes in agri-food systems across the rural-urban continuum that affects access to affordable, healthy diets, and will be key to continuing efforts to meet the SDG 2 target by 2030.